that the ICC suspects were putting forward was the argument of sovereignty. And they really pushed their issue on the basis of not whether they are guilty or whether they are not guilty or whether the charges will stand or they will not stand, on purely the issue of sovereignty. I think that there is a case about sovereignty to be made here, and I don't think that I would go into the issue of who was right or who was wrong, or is there guilt or is there no guilt. But having Kenyans being incarcerated in a foreign land should be unacceptable to the government. What these people are saying, the family, is that the government hasn't been too keen to help them on this issue for whatever reason. Do I think there is a case to be made by the family about the government getting involved? Yes, there is. There are countries who, in these developed countries and advanced democracies, where this would not happen. Even if there was guilt, the countries would negotiate that have them come and they serve.
Not very long ago, we had a report by Amnesty International detailing that almost 181 Kenyans have been incarcerated in prisons outside the country. This was just a month ago. But with this particular story, I particularly feel for this because one of these four, Anthony Modime, happens to be a close friend of mine, a close friend of our family. And the fact that they've been away for several years now. They've now been sentenced to 72 years imprisonment. The agony that these families have gone through. And like you say, they really say that they haven't received much support from the Kenyan government. But it's also what authorities in South Sudan are saying. When we were speaking to Amnesty International very long ago, they say there's just not any commitment, not much commitment from the Kenyan government.
And it makes us feel like there's different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
Because if ICC was about sovereignty, ICC was about Kenya having a judicial and a justice system that is able to execute its own issues, why can't that be applied for this? After all, they're Kenyans just like any other.
They're Kenyans just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Right, just before we move on, there is a story that